Gorse is probably our biggest one around here in Wellington. As you know yourself, the hills are covered in gorse around Wellington. Thistles and lupin.
Gorse is an interesting plant. It's able to outcompete itself and in time provide a suitable habitat for native plants to come through. Unfortunately, in some of the areas in our parks where it's growing, particularly on the Kapiti coast, there isn't the seed source in the ground. So leaving the gorse to regenerate into native isn't an option for us.
In this particular park, in Queen Elizabeth Park, the biggest or most extensive infestations of pest plants have been gorse over the years, and we've aerial sprayed around 100 hectares of gorse on this park, which is a very substantial area. We have now got a significant issue with lupin, and that's a tree lupin that, if not controlled, is absolutely rampant, and it spreads throughout pasture areas, and it is quite a significant issue. The other plants that we would look to address with large areas is blackberry.
We have a number of species in our parks on the Kapiti coast, like boxthorn, lupins and gorse, which if left uncontrolled will completely invade those clear areas, leaving the park unusable to the public.
If we start with gorse, that's actually an underestimated risk on Queen Elizabeth Park in particular, because gorse fixes nitrogen in the soil, and it changes the fertility levels in naturally low fertility areas, and so it will change the way that the park ecology develops or changes over time. The challenge with lupin in Queen Elizabeth Park is that it is so invasive, and if it is not controlled, it will simply spread and spread until it's not stopped. So it can make areas completely inaccessible, and it grows to a significant height as well. What we're finding, interestingly, with lupin here is that the sheep are starting to eat it, and they're eating at a reasonable height, but they can't get to all of it. So we expect that with the lupin controlled here at Queen Elizabeth Park, it will only need to be a one-off knockdown operation, and so once that's done, we think that the sheep can control it simply by eating it. And generally what we really want to see is one-off large-scale pieces of work, and then localised control after that. We as a council, or our contractors or our licence holders, go in and control isolated areas of regrowth with ground spraying, or the other option is that we can control it with animals grazing it. A picture is worth 1,000 words in this particular case, but I can think of an area that has been aerial sprayed before for lupin, and what's happened is that the main infestation has been controlled, the dune formation has been revealed, and so the silhouettal shape of the dune is now clear for people to see, as opposed to being obscured by the lupin plant. It's a far more attractive site for a park visitor to see, and it certainly is a much easier place for the dogs to muster the sheep on.